Hi, hello everyone. Well, this looks kind of cut off. That doesn't look quite right. That's a bit cut off. We should be using the 4x3 layout for this, I think. That seems a bit wide. Okay.
Right, hi again. Give us a moment, we're going to look into this. It should be a quick hasty fix. So yeah, hold on.
Alright, hi, hello. Now we're getting the full Devil Dumper picture here. Welcome to Devil Dumper Doris and the start of the Devil Dumper block here. We're gonna see a few games about dumping devils. And of course we're starting with the most important one, the classic Devil Dumper Doris Oni Killer Strange Tale. Let's just get into it. The time, by the way, only starts once we get control of the character. We've got a bit of story to cover here. Once upon a time, there was a small country in a corner of the world. The small country was subject to the invasion of a larger country. The Lord fought hard to protect his country and citizens, still fending off the invasion. Although greatly pulling back the front lines, the nobles sold him out to the large country. The Lord thus spoke at his public execution: "You filthy invaders and traitors, I will definitely revive and reclaim my country." The Lord was executed. However, hundreds of years later, the prophecy came true. In order to resist the invasion, the Lord dabbled in blasphemous and indescribable knowledge, and in present day, the Lord has revived as a blood-sucking monster. Controlling the husks of the invaders and the traitors to create an undead army, he firmly fortifies and controls his previously owned castle. It's registered as a cultural relic. Mobilizing the army would be foolish, however it's beyond the capability of local police. The one to answer the call was a humble cleaner, an anachronistic exorcist. It's foolish, but I can't refuse when offered a reward. I immediately started the car to go obliterate some vintage garbage to the demon's castle on the frontier. Right, so here's Doris. She just rode in on her scooter. Yeah, she's the person to get if you're on a tight budget, as the introduction mentioned. It's obviously foolish to send in the army. That would be too much, but the police can't handle it. So we've got this kind of ball of chain, almost whip. And it's got some special features, so we can spin it around and we can latch onto these, like, gems. The game calls them hooks. And at least according to the Steam page, they're basically the souls of the defeated enemies flying towards heaven, I think, or something like that. And for some reason we can hook onto them. And it might look like something that's useful in a speedrun, but no, not really, not much. Sometimes it even gets you into more danger than it's really helping. So I already picked up a sub-weapon here. I've got the axe, that's the most useful one. It's gonna be... No, I don't want the cross, thank you. So the axe is gonna be pretty useful for this boss and a few bosses. And here we've got our first boss, the friendly skeleton. He's so happy. I also like the hand gesture he does. It's kind of like he says, "Oh, please, And yeah, the axe is pretty useful here, although I'm not actually sure the axe does a lot of damage. I think it does like a lot of iframes for the skeleton. And that takes care of that skeleton. On we go to the chapel in Miasma. Here's one useful hook for once. So one thing you might have seen earlier, I got a very high jump earlier. It's like a funny little... oh damn. Yeah, that's what can happen with the hooks. That one pulled me right over a pit. Thankfully, Doris isn't easily deterred. So it's definitely a risk that you can easily accidentally catch a hook. Even when your spinning whip can catch a hook, and then it will just pull you somewhere. Oh, now it's working. So sometimes you can stop moving platforms by ducking. I think that's also like a little funny physics quirk. It doesn't work on every moving platform, but on some of them. Usually it's a bad thing. I want to keep moving forward. Oh, here we go. Yeah, there's the big jumps. So the game has some funny interactions with the corners of platforms, basically, when you jump or when you fall. And sometimes that can give you a much higher jump, and sometimes it can just throw you straight down into a pit. These spike walls here are instant death, so I want to be a bit careful. That one might kill me. Very close one. So if you're thinking that this looks a lot like an Xbox Live indie game, I don't think it was actually on the service, but it's definitely off the time. So this game specifically, Devil Dump Doris, came out in 2022, 2023. But it's based on a game from 2010, which was re-released in several versions. And yeah, because of the death earlier, I sadly lost my axe, and now this boss fight is gonna be very slow. So this boss is Backbeard, which I only know from Gegege no Kitaro. I'm not sure if Backbeard is a generally known monster. And he loves flying around way above me, which means I can't hit him. The axe would really help there, but sadly we lost that, so it's going a bit slower. Yeah, you might mistake him for Krako, but he doesn't like it. I can try using the spinning whip, but it doesn't really work while you're jumping. Okay, here we go. This is the one attack where he doesn't immediately disappear. It gives me the chance to land some hits. Oh yeah, I picked up the gun. Classic sub-weapon, a gun. Get down there, Backbeard. There we go. Right. So for this next boss, the axe wouldn't really be as useful. If anything, I want a sub-weapon that shoots straight, although I think sub-weapons aren't even that useful for it. first we have to get there. I think this stage is probably called the Graveyard or something. The stages have some pretty good names. Actually, all the bosses even have lore. There's a room in the menu where you can read up on the detailed lore of Devil Dumbledoris. So here's a funny new trick. These fake windows that fall down. And sometimes you can even get an extra jump off the window, kinda, like... I think if you hit the edge of the hitbox just right, then you can kinda jump off it. Yeah, Doris is a very powerful strut. Nothing can stop her with that strut. Don't want to bother with these guys, so we're just gonna go through. And in rooms like this one, I really have to be careful how I jump up around these corners, because if you jump a bit too short, then it's the game really likes to just push you down. Here's a funny new trick, falling chandeliers, and you can also get a jump off those ones, but those large jumps, just like the hooks, they're kind of not really that useful. Don't think I'm gonna get the hook here, so of course this big painting of it. I was slightly too late. So if you catch the hook there, you can kind of pull yourself ahead and not be killed by the painting. Let's see, can I get the hook? Probably not. Oh, there we go. That was a bit risky. Okay, we're back at Gun. Gun isn't too bad for the boss here. Gonna spin the whip to block some projectiles in case that skeleton thing that does something. Oh, here we go, I think. Yeah. So, the boss of this stage is a very bouncy wolf. He mostly bounces around, and he's got this kind of throwing psi attack, which is a real problem because it's hard to predict when he's doing it. I only know that he's mostly doing it when he's on the wall. If I'm getting very lucky, then he might get stuck on the walls on the side. Like, maybe now? Okay, now it's jumping out. Okay, there we go. Went pretty okay. Hey, don't call this castle a dump. You saw earlier, it's a registered cultural heritage site. It needs to be preserved like this, that's the law. I forgot who's the boss here. Is it the... I think it's the Blob. Which would mean I want to have the eggs. These blobs here are funny and dangerous. They are instant death if you touch them. And they've got their own death animation for Doris and Scream. Very long, kinda concerning Scream. which I think is maybe a good time to mention. If you want to look up what else this developer did, this is the only game of theirs on Steam, but on the Japanese side, DL side, they've got a whole bunch of stuff, and it's all not safe for work. And there's even one game there that involves stories and slime like that. But yeah, you've been warned if you want to look that up. Alright, coming up is one of the only 2 places in the game where you actually get a health item. You might be asking, where's the wall meat? Well, we've got meat. There's gonna be wall meat later. But now we just get open air meat. I think here's an axe. Yeah, there we go. Definitely want this axe. This guy's kinda hard to skip around. Oh, no! Damn it! That one got me just right. At least I can get my axe back here. So this part is a bit dangerous. And also you can't actually really stand on these skeletons. Okay, now it works, but sometimes you just... You can't move, you can't jump for a bit. You hop on these. They're not proper floor, I guess. Okay, here we go. So there's this boss. It's called Shoggoth, like the Cthulhu monster, I think. It's a blob thing. I'm not sure that's accurate for the Shoggoth. And there's a funny glitch that could happen. Would be nice to get it. But I can't really control it very well. So if you defeat the boss while it has that hand attack out, then the boss music will keep playing into the next stage while the music of the other stage is also playing. But of course it depends on the boss patterns. If it gives me a hand while I'm doing the last hit, then we can get the nice glitch here. We're getting a lot of hands, that's good. Come on, give me another hand. It's probably about time to defeat it. Okay, well, we didn't get it. So this next stage is a little bit of a door maze, but not much. If you take the wrong door, then I think it sends you back to the start. Or at least it doesn't send you forward. Really like the all book walls here. Yeah, there's a case where the game just dumps me straight down if I run into the wall. The axe is pretty useful here because I can take out the enemies up there. We will have to walk all of the way back. Yeah, the game dumps you. The game might dump us in other ways later in the next stage, but I'll explain that when we're there. Here's another X. Maybe swap that out for a fresh one. So if I hadn't taken out all of these skulls, then we'd have to deal with the fireballs now. Hoping for a little glitch coming up ahead, where a part of an enemy doesn't spawn. Right. There we go, perfect, I love it. So the skeleton's bones didn't spawn, I can just jump through. Very convenient, thank you skeleton. I'm not sure what exactly influences that, but it happens kinda often. Yeah, I've only seen it recently, so I think it might be related to something I do before that, or the speed I'm going through. Also, here's the second healing item, and it's some genuine wall meat. So this boss is the Grim Reaper, classic. And again, he loves to float way above us, so the axe is very useful. Also got a little friend coming in here. Some of these bosses also have desperation attacks. You might have seen it on the werewolf earlier, and here as well. The werewolf kind of drops a kind of bomb on you, and the Grim Reaper here drops his sai. Okay, so this is the last real full stage, and we're getting a classic devil dumping set piece, the Crumbling Bridge. In this game, this stage also has appearances from some of the previous bosses, like here the big skeleton from the first stage is pulling down the bridge. And this stage also has an interesting boss fight. This boss fight can crash the game, depending on which patterns it uses. That's what I meant by the game dumping us. Oh, see his Blackbeard again. He's kinda invincible, he's just there to annoy me. And to get generated infinitely. Got the red blobs as well. Everyone's here, all your favorites. So this is a pretty difficult room, it's got a difficult platform cycle. Let's see if I can get it. Okay. Okay, that one was a little bit late, but other than that... Oh no! Okay, that's what I meant, accidentally latching onto a hook. At least I'm not dead yet, so it's... it can also easily happen that it just dumps you all the way down to where the instant death red slimes are. Please don't squash me. Okay. Still going. let me pass. That's Shoggoth, just blocking us a little bit. The game's playing all the classics right before the end here. Falling Chandeliers, Slime Hands. Okay, here we go. So this is Doppeldoris. She's got all of our attacks. And if she ever uses the spinning whip for longer than a second or so, it's gonna crash the game. And then we have to retry the stage. But it doesn't really happen that often for me. There we go. Quick fight. So one of the other speedrunners of this game, who's in chat as well, Quark here, has actually dug into the game maker scripts of this game and has identified and fixed the bug, but I thought it would be more fun to have the original devil dumping experience. Okay, so here's the final boss fight. This is the Duke of Judgment. He's the devil that needs a dumping. And his weak point is kinda inconveniently placed, a little bit higher than my usual whip attack would go. So the spinning whip is pretty handy here, if I can get him in time before he starts his attacks. Don't want to lose too much health. The next phase usually hits me a few times at least. Okay, here we go. Last phase. So in this phase there's a really cool glitch. You can get more than one of your spinning whips to spin, to spawn. I've seen at least 4, I think. We've got 2 already. And of course that does multiple hits then to the boss. Looks like we've got 3, maybe. There we go. And that's it. Devil successfully dumped. Like there's the cultural heritage castle. No, the cultural heritage, it's disappearing. Doris takes one last look at the moon, and off she struts to dump the next devil. So if you like this game, you can get it on Steam. It's like $3 probably. And I think it's pretty fun, and a lot of people actually have played it and really enjoyed it. And I would just like to say a few thanks here. So thank you very much to Sardus for making this game pretty popular, for introducing this to me and a whole bunch of people. I've seen, I don't know, 5, 6, probably more people play this on Twitch. Also, big thank you to Hollyheck maybe, who's done a bunch of research on this game and the developer, which is very useful for commentary. And shoutouts to the other speedrunners of this game. So that's Sadus again, and Quark and Hexagon Witch. And yeah, that's the start of our devil dumping block, but there's more devil dumping to be done. So I think coming up next is Flannelcat with let me see, Castlevania? Never heard of it.